Dominos, Eos, Boredados, Migos.
Oh, no, okay.
Yakios,
Let's
Speedos.
just talk about
that was Latin. That was all the
Let's-
stuff
I
that
don't-
Father Matteo
I don't
says.
think it was any of that.
I'm pretty sure it was Latin.
No.
Hey, welcome back to Two Little Investigators. Today we're doing our Forgotten Age Mystics review. So we're taking all the Mystic cards and Father Matteo and talking about him.
So let's talk.
So let's talk about.
Let's dive right in.
So Father,
man.
Father Matteo is a priest. He's a believer and a warden. We would have one other warden, and that's
Yorick.
William Yorick, the Gravedigger. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see if that matters later.
Yeah.
Father Matteo has 4 willpower, 3 books, and then 2 fisticuffs and 3 feet. So, not the worst. This is definitely not the worst stat line we've seen from characters in this block, because this is like Leo but better. Or it's like who was it that we just looked at? We didn't just look at it. You guys might not have just looked at it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So like it's kind of like Ursula, in a weird way, but better because you have a stat that's 2 instead of a 1, right?
Right.
And so like stat line's pretty solid. And so as just a character in general with a 6/8 and a good stat line, Father Matteo's not bad.
Yeah, and he also brings in a new mechanic.
Mm-hmm. So Seal is a mechanic that'll happen when you use Father Matteo's Codex. We'll talk about in a second. But his reaction ability is an investigator reveals after investigator reveals a chaos token. Anywhere. Doesn't have to be at his location or anything. Cancel the token and treat it as an elder sign was just drawn once per game. So super powerful once per game effects. I hope we see this more often.
Yeah.
Like on characters, because that's really cool. It's very do or die, It gives you that kind of really intense feel of, did I use it at the right time? Oh my god, did I mess everything up? That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then his elder sign ability is like very unique. I don't remember and I'm sure everyone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's one of the only characters that has you automatically succeed as an elder sign effect, which is really cool. Yeah, really cool. So that's another thing that's super thematic, and like you're like, I got one chance. Like if I draw this elder sign, I can win even though if I normally fail. Like even if I am 10 lower than the test and I can never draw a token out of the bag that would succeed, I can pass once if I draw this elder sign. Like that's the kind of like stand-up game moments you're like wait for, where like you're all done, you're like about to see what happens, and you need to kill this thing, or you need to escape, or you need to move, and you pull out of the bag and it's an elder sign, and you can fail sometimes still when that happens, but this time you're like, yeah, and it's like doom 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 doom. Anyway, and then you get to choose something. So we're not done yet. Then you get to choose to either draw a card and gain a resource, or if it's your turn, take an additional action. So cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's a lot.
Yeah, for just the front side of the card. So this is where he kind of gets a little bit balanced, I think, for the moment, is that he's got his normal deck size. He can have Mystic cards 0 to 5, Blessed cards 0 to 3, and Neutral cards 0 to 5, and you can include the Codex of Ages and the Serpents of Yeg. So as of this recording, there is only 1 Blessed card in the game, and it is in Forgotten Age, and we're going to talk about it in a second. So
But it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think the sealed ability is really good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And so this is like the shaman when she came out. Again, I can never pronounce her name, so I'm not going to try. There wasn't a ton of like omen cards. So take it for what you will. The blessed card in the game he can already include in his deck, so there's no reason to like have it as a thing, but it's cool. It gets better.
That's pretty sweet.
It's only can get better from here. And so Tyler and I were thinking maybe there's going to be like you know what I forgot to do? This little thing.
Oh.
Now you know who we are. It's going to get better from here. It only gets better from here. So we're hoping that maybe they do like a Blessed card for every faction, because in the other Arkham Files games, Blessed is like a super good thing.
Yes.
Being Blessed is fantastic. You want it. And you want to get blessed while you're blessed, because that means you get to flip over cards and get really cool effects. So
double blessing all the way across the sky.
Double blessed. Okay, so but the thing I was gonna say is this is great. Father Matteo's cool, and he lets you draw the elder sign like once per game, basically automatically if you're gonna fail. But Getting the Elder Sign other times is a little bit harder, unless you have this card. But there's some cool stuff that happens here. So this is called the Codex of Ages. I'm not even going to try to read the Latin on there. I tried to do it earlier, and Tyler told me to stop. It's 2-cost asset. It's got a willpower and a question mark icon. It's an item, relic, tome, and it's blessed. So there's that. Father Matteo's deck only, and it seals the Elder Sign. So the sealing effect on a card, when this card enters play, a card with the seal ability, it is able to take a token out of the bag and put it on this card. Therefore, it's sealed onto this card. So if you've played the other Eldritch games like Elder Sign, sealing is a thing that happens to your dice. Your dice get sealed away and you can't use them for certain things. This is very similar to that. This card now is holding that token, and for the effects of the game, there's no token like that in any investigator's bag. So when we play with separate bags because I got frustrated passing my bag around. These filthy people. No. So we all have our own bags, but for the sake of this card and the sealed ability, whenever a token is sealed, you will pull that out of all the investigator bags that are part of the campaign you're currently in for the time that is on this card. So sealing the Elder Sign here is great because it's out. Well, sealing the Elder Sign here, I guess, from the beginning, if you haven't read the rest of the card, sounds terrible because you're like, why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
Because you're never going to draw it. So you get +1 while there's a token sealed here, so he can be up to 5, I think. 5 brain power, 5 willpower when he has this, which is okay, like nothing to write home about.
Oh,
you don't think so?
It's a lot.
It is a lot, you're right. But he could have a rosary for that, right?
Right. But
without having to sacrifice the Elder Sign token, we could have a rosary. But the last part's cool. So when you reveal a Chaos token from the bag, discard it to resolve the Elder Sign instead, as if it were just revealed from the bag instead of revealing a token from the bag. So not only can you turn an auto-fail into an Elder Sign once a game, you can use the Codex of Ages to auto-succeed a test once a game with Father Matteo. Yeah. And so that is cool.
Yeah. It's a pocket Elder Sign whenever you need it. And that immediately combos off
his other part, which is draw a card or get more actions. Yeah. So I think it's cool. The only downside is that everyone else doesn't get to draw the Elder Sign while it's sealed. But it also protects it from other things that might seal it. So sealing goes both ways. If as we'll see in a second, let's just move on. Yeah. Serpent of Yig is Father Matteo's weakness, and it's a monster weakness. It's got 2 fight, 3 health, and 2 run away. It's a humanoid monster serpent, and he can only pray. He prays on Father Matteo. He's a hunter, and it says search the Chaos bag for the Elder Sign token and seal it on the Serpent of Yig. But if the Elder Sign token is already sealed on a card, and basically the effect of Serpent of Yig will fail to find that token in the bag, and it will just be blank. So you can protect it from that. So keeping that in mind, for cards that want to seal tokens from you or have more powerful effects when they're sealed, which we may see in the future, some of the cards we're going to go over today in Mystic are going to affect the ability for bad things to happen based off of things being sealed, because you might be able to seal them first.
Yeah, and this is like a crazy weakness. It's like a race between this serpent and you to basically seal Elder Sign first, and it's a monster weakness, which are it's always annoying.
Yeah, they are, and they really, like William York's Gravedigger ghouls are just super annoying, and some of the extra weaknesses that were added in the books are monsters, and they're harsh. But this guy's not the hardest thing ever. He does hunter, but he's only ever hunting Father Matteo, and 3 to kill him with 2 is not too bad. I think this is probably one of the more manageable enemies, but if he does seal that Elder Sign and you can't get rid of him, nobody's drawing the Elder Sign until he's dead. So, I mean, he's basically like a lightning rod, right?
Yeah.
He comes out and seals the Elder Sign, you're like, kill it. We want to be able to draw that. All right, so the first Mystic card we have is the Mists of Relay. This is a really cool card in all the other Arkham games as well, because, or not card, but this is a really cool spell that's in the other Arkham games as well. It's one of the most, efficient ones. You get to do stuff while monsters are at your location, which is really great in most of the other games. But this is a 2-cost asset with feet. It's a spell. It has 4 charges, so 2 costs for 4 charges is pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as economics go with the charges. Spend 1 and evade. This evasion attempt uses brains instead of feet. And if you succeed after evading the chosen enemy, you may move to a connecting location. But if you draw one of the bad symbols, choose and discard a card from your hand. So you can still pass while drawing one of the bad symbols. It's just that you might have to discard a card. I think this is a pretty good spell.
Yeah, and the trade-off isn't really that bad for drawing one of the bad symbols because usually it's like a horror.
Yeah, or you get attacked, or you like lose. I mean, what is the one for Rite of Seeking is like you lose the rest of actions for your turn.
Yeah,
that's like terrible.
Yeah, definitely. And this is going up usually against Blinding Light, which does damage.
Yeah,
for evasion.
For 3 damage, you evade and it does damage. And I don't necessarily think that they have to compete, just because the Blinding Light's not a spell slot. It's just an event. So he's right though. Like you could pick one or the other if you wanted to. I think in most cases, if you're picking for like you probably want Blinding Light because of the damage. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Moving to a connecting location is useful.
Yeah, those are like your evade options if you're like a mystic.
You're thinking about it because you have the spell Astral Travel that came out last time, but the downside of Astral Travel is like really bad.
Yeah, that's super bad.
This could be an Astral Travel kind of effect where you get to evade and move. Moving as an additional effect is really good. As with Ursula Downs, we saw that. I mean, being able to move and do things is good because you get extra actions, right?
Yeah.
So the next card is Protective Incantation. So this is the only blessed card in the game besides the Codex of Ages. So it's a 1-cost, 1-experience asset that's got a willpower icon on it. It's a ritual and it's blessed. And there can only be 2 copies of Protective Incantation in play per group. Okay? So you seal anything except for the autofail. So this is a scenario where you could seal like a -5 or -8. Or you could seal a Tombstone or whatever. We don't know what those other symbols are called. So like we do with most things here, we made it up. So a Tombstone or like an Elder thing, you know?
Yeah. This is a great card. Yeah. I like it. It's just good all around.
And at the end of the turn, you have to pay 1 or you discard it. So this is one I would always pay for if I had to. I would plan to pay for it if I could. Like I would spend my last action to get a resource if I needed to pay for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, this is probably like a must-have in every Mystic deck.
Yeah.
Would you say from like now on?
I mean I think so. Just because seal seems so powerful. I mean. You're drastically affecting... So taking 1 out of 16, that's how many tokens are usually in, is good. That's changing your chances of drawing good stuff more often. Alternatively, it's changing your chances of drawing all the other bad stuff more often too. But you took out one of the bad things, so now you have maybe a 55-45 split instead of a 50-50 split or something like that. So anytime you can increase your chances and manipulate the bag, I'm going to like the card.
Yeah. Definitely.
It does take up spell slot though, so keep that in mind. If you're going to be wanting to play other spells, this one is going to be a slot. So maybe having other investigators who can get mystic cards is going to be helpful. So not just your mystic can focus on doing this and other things as opposed to just having 2 of these in play at the same time.
Yeah, but it is 1 cost, so pretty much anyone who can take a mystic card can take it.
There's some limitation. Like you couldn't have like the Dunwich cycle characters take it, right? But anybody who has like Mystic as their alternate could. Yeah. He's right. He did it. He's right. Okay. Our next one is the Chthonian Stone. It's a unique asset. It's the Stygian Waymark. This is like there's a lot of names here that are really crazy. It's a 3-cost asset with a book icon, and it's an item relic, and it's cursed, which I think is interesting. Because this cursed item is not as bad as the other cursed item. Well, it's not cursed either. I guess the skull was cursed from the Rogue Cycles cards, but
yeah, curses don't seem that bad.
Yeah, well, so there's some weaknesses in here. Like I'll talk about these right now since these are interesting. But there's like curse in here that you play in campaign mode, and it can cause you to like. They basically can cause you to end up dying after a few sessions in your campaign.
Oh.
Because you get cursed and it ends up killing you because of it. So keep that in mind if you draw Doomed.
Curses aren't that...
And that's not technically a cursed thing. It's just a curse. So cursed items aren't necessarily bad, but curses can be bad. Keep it in mind. It's important to know. So this one just seals any of the bad symbol tokens except for Elder Sign.
No, the tentacly blue bops.
Well, that's Elder Sign. It doesn't seal Elder Sign. It says seal Skull, Cultist, Tombstone, or Elder Thing.
Oh.
So that's what I meant.
Except it...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. This could be in direct competition with some decks that want to draw those, but there's still going to be the other ones of those in the bag. So, and there's usually 2 skulls in most bags. So,
right.
Again,
But you don't have to seal a skull if someone wants a skull.
Yeah, that's true. This is a 3 cost to do that. I think that's way worth it. It's 0 experience, so it can go in even more investigators decks than the last card we saw.
Yeah.
And the only bad thing that happens is if you reveal an auto fail symbol, it gets returned to your hand.
Yeah, which isn't.
I'm sorry, is that bad? Like, you can choose a different token for 3 resources. Like,
yeah,
that seems really good.
That's not bad at all.
This card is probably one of the best Mystic cards right now. I think just because Seal is new and it's great, and it doesn't go away.
Yeah, I would take this cursed statue. I would take it in a heartbeat. Although there's probably like going to be another card. It's like
you have a cursed item.
If you have cursed items, you die.
Yep, that's what I was worried about. All right, so this last one we have is called Dark Prophecy. It's a 1-cost event with a willpower and a foot symbol on it. It's an augury subtype, which is few of the other spells we've seen are. But it's not a spell. It's just an augury. It's fast, and it says, play when you reveal a chaos token. Reveal 5 instead of 1, and choose a token with a bad symbol to resolve, and ignore the rest. And if none of them are revealed, you choose any of the tokens you want, and ignore the rest. Or any of the 1 tokens, so...
we were talking about this before we started recording.
Mm-hmm.
And
so we're not going to talk about it here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Kyle says he didn't like it, or you were.
I didn't get it at first, and
unsure.
I was like, this is weird because, like, forcing yourself to draw a symbol, I think, is most of the time bad because you'd rather just draw like a -1 or like a -2.
Yeah, in most cases, but I really don't mind it because, you know, you have more control over it. You actually have like a sheet that tells you like what these things are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so what these make up like
probably like a 4th or a 5th of the bag, depending on what bag you're running and things like that.
Yeah, so I mean you can draw you know like
you know exactly what's gonna happen.
You know like one of these is gonna come up and you have a chance to be like, oh well, this skull might not be so bad because it may be like -1 for every like cultist like on the board right now. It's like, oh, there are no cultists, so, and there's like 2 skulls in this bag right now, so
yeah. And then yeah. So the other thing I thought it was weird, but Tyler brings up a good point about like we've talked about this in previous videos and with other people, but knowing what you're getting is better than not knowing what you're getting.
Yeah,
and I think there's a lot of cards that make it better when you draw bad things. So like the Jewel of Aurelios or whatever it's called wants you to draw these so you can get extra cards or resources. And so there's things where it's not as bad. And Jim and Matteo themselves kind of want the auto fail and the skull, or the skull and the auto fail respectively, Jim Culver. So put this in a Jim Culver deck and automatically get a skull every once in a while, and you can get a lot of benefit from it. So
yeah, I
think it's kind of interesting that they have it. I'm interested to see what people do with it. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, and I don't think it was really bad. It just confused me because I was like trying to think of the best scenarios, and I haven't played a lot of Mystics, so I can't really speak to the things that came off of the top of my head. So
yeah, I guess you're confused by that card. Like I'm confused by Calvert.
Yeah, by the Survivor.
Yeah.
All right, so that was all for the Mystics. If you guys have any comments about anything you like about the Mystics and Forgotten Age, let us know. If you have any ideas for Dark Prophecy or Dark... Yeah, I think it's called Dark Prophecy, right? It's right on the screen. Dark Prophecy. Let us know what they are, and let us know what you think about the sealed effect, the new sealed ability in this game, and if it's as good as we think it is, or if it's shite.
Yes, let us know that.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.